Hi, I'm David Alberts, co-founder of BeenThereDoneThat, and today in the next of our series, BeenThereDoneThat WhereNext, we're going to talk to Alia Kemet, the CMO of Shipt. And Alia, welcome.
Thank you.
In this series, we discuss what's got us here is maybe not going to get us where we need to be. So, but before we start that, can you share with us your journey to get here?
Yeah, sure. I have been in marketing space for about 25 years.
Been there,
This
done that.
year, I've been there, done that. I'm Chief Marketing Officer with Shipt, and we deliver goods, essentials, and groceries same day in less than 2 hours to the consumer's door. Prior to that, I was in CPG, I was in retail, so I have been really kind of a retailer and a marketer for 25 years.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, listen, we're going to ask some questions today to share with our viewers. The first question is, what's the biggest problem you face, be it in your job or in the company or just in society as a whole, that you see?
So I'm going to pick one that I am really passionate about, which is an issue we have in our industry. So when you think about marketing and you think about creative and storytelling, there really just is a lack of diversity in these spaces and at the table. And I'll say I can think back 20 years ago when I was sitting at tables and people were saying we have to diversify, we have to hire more people of color, more black people, more Hispanic people. And yet today, even in this year, we are far from where we need to be. And I kind of think it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that we as a business kind of look for is diversity of people, and actually diversity of people not just in the execution or in front of the camera, but actually diversity and have a variety of voices at the beginning of the process. How do you find that works for you?
So I think all of the points are really critical. I take it all the way from strategy, all the way down to the person who's behind the camera when you're producing, say, new work, right? And I think we have to be really intentional, at least I am, about asking the questions to make sure that the partners that we're working with, the agencies that we're working with, share the same values that we share around these issues. And ask the questions and make sure that the data is there, because that's how you get storytelling that holds up, and that's how you don't make mistakes with your brand, because we've seen it every year. There's some huge, horrible offense that comes out, and I guarantee you, in most of those occasions, there wasn't someone at the table who could speak for the people, or there wasn't someone empowered to speak.
Yeah, I think that's so interesting. We do a lot of work with the Ad Council, I know you do as well. And some of the projects we've worked on recently, be it convincing Americans to take the vaccine or one around systemic racism, that unless you bring those different voices into the whole problem definition session and understand the empathy of the other people and the other people's point of view, it's very hard to define the problems to solve, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, David, what's critical is that it's not about saying, oh, we need to go out and find the African American group, or the black group, or the Hispanic group, but our teams have to be made up of people who are kind of from a kaleidoscope in life, right? So what does your team look like, and what do our partners' teams look like? And then if we still need to talk to the black group or the Hispanic group, or we're going to do research, absolutely. But at the table, on those teams, does everyone look the same, or are people coming from different parts of life? And I think that's what's critical.
That's so interesting there, because when you do that process and you bring all the different voices around the table, you're starting the essence of defining what that problem is. And then once you then define that problem and generate a strategy, then you can hand back to the different groups to do it.
Yeah.
It's with the It's Up to You campaign for COVID. That was fascinating to see how everyone then used that platform to speak to the thing. But as you say, it can't just be at the end, can it?
It can't. And then the other thing is we have inherent human truths that are the same, regardless of what country I'm from, what religion I am, what sexual orientation. There are certain human truths that we all share, and we should be tapping into those and starting there. You miss that if everyone looks the same. You're going to get one human truth, maybe told through one lens, instead of like the human truth we all have, but like told maybe with a different way, with a little bit of spice, maybe in some cases.
Absolutely. You know, and so our company's called BeenThereDoneThat, and it started off being about people who, like you and I, have been in the industry for 20 years. But sometimes, when you look at what the industry has been made of, it's not really enough just to draw from the existing industry.
Yeah.
And we've spent a lot of time now actually looking at different people's. Our mission is harness the world's best thinkers to solve the world's toughest problems, right?
I love that.
But then the best thinkers are not just the same people all the time. The best thinkers come from different cultural communities, and how do we draw those people in? And how do you see that? Do you engage in Shipt with people from different cultural background, or not just background, skill sets?
Very much so. I think people are attracted to our company based on the brand values of our company. And so I think you certainly want someone who has the experience, but when people also have a drive, I think we lean into different types of skill sets. I found it's easier when you're hiring right out of school. I've had a lot of success in my career hiring athletes. Really interesting. They bring with them this like drive and extremely coachable people, and that's been really kind of pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, isn't it? There's just expertise and skill sets and superpowers that are in lots of different places, and it's how do you bring those superpowers around a well-defined problem.
Right.
So, pretty clear what we're going to. So, for the people who are watching, viewing this, what's the first step that we should all take in actually getting this going and not talk about it?
We've been talking about it for 20 years, 25 years. I think people need to just actually start taking action. That starts with looking at your suppliers, looking at your agencies, looking at the room you're in, right, your table. But if people, if these agencies and these partners are not sharing those same values, and you're saying that you want to be a more diverse and inclusive company, it's time to find someone else who will. And I think that people need to be really bullish about that, and they need to take a stand. And I think that's what people struggle with. They're like, well, we've been working with them for so long. You can't give people more time. They've had 20 years, it's been 2 decades. So I think that that's where we start. That's what I would love to see. I start with the RFP process and, writing out what the expectations are, and don't even talk to those partners that can't meet those expectations.
That should be an industry kind of, as an industry, we should put that in place.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's great. So it is an absolute, what's got us here is not going to get us to where we want to be. And look, thank you so much for taking the time to share your thoughts with us. And I think a lot of people, if you've been there, done that, and put this RFP process in, I would encourage everybody to reach out to you as the gold standard and look at how to implement it, because, as you say, we've been talking for a lot, and it's time for action.
I'm happy to help anybody with it.
Fantastic. Thanks for your time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.